Alright, get the corn planter out. We're gonna put the tanks on the tractor. These slip on pretty easy, it won't take too long. I'm gonna get her pulled out. Jeremiah's getting it warmed up. So we've got these tanks back here that we bought last year through Ryan Manufacturing. They're with like Nebraska or up north somewhere. So here they are. 375 gallons a piece. We never fill them all the way full. We'll show you a little bit more once we get them mounted, but we got to dig them out here first to get the sprayer out of the way and the seed tender back out. All right, we're gonna move out some tractors, get the corn planter out, and to get it finished up, get the tanks mounted on. Move the Massey. Oh, pushing the clutch. There she goes. She's cold. All right, seed tender's out. Get the Haggy out. Up here real quick. She goes. Good enough. And leave it running. The battery's charged. Moving her in. Template cut out of cardboard with all of our measurements on it, so the guys in Heartland machine in Arthur can draw that up and be able to put that on a computer. And they've got a water jet machine that can cut through steel that's pretty thick. I believe it's over 1 inch. We're going to cut 3/4 inch plating for the plates that we are making, so hopefully they can get that done this afternoon. I called them and they said they've got a little bit extra time here this afternoon to try and squeeze us in. So we're going to give them the template, they'll draw it up for us, cut it out, and we'll take it back to the farm and we'll let Jeremiah weld it all on and try it out. right, so we got these welded on, planer hooked up. Looks like they're gonna work pretty good. Got them painted. And they raised the planer up enough, so I think we're gonna have good clearance going down the road. It's a lot more level. Looks a lot better. So we ended up deciding to install these in-furrow tubes. Donnie's gonna hook them up. Finish hooking them up, I should say.
This is my last one.
Is it?
Yeah.
And we'll be ready to pull it out and pressure wash off these seed tubes.
Cleaned out.
Clean those out. So the in-furrow we installed were LEP fertilizer tubes. Stainless steel ran down into here. It's going to drop the fertilizer back here. They initially had it hooked back this direction because originally these Case IH units have a little tab that goes up in here to protect dirt from coming in there, but we took those off back a while ago. So we bent them back down so they don't get hit by this. So they should drop the in-furrow fertilizer right in the furrow right where it needs to be. Hopefully those work out. We tried another set last year that didn't work. So we'll get these here cleaned out. The dust in there from the graphite can cause a lot of problems with the monitor, reading doubles and skips with the seed. And so sometimes if you just run a brush through them and clean them out at the beginning of the season and halfway through, you don't have issues with that. So we'll pull it out here in a second and pressure wash all those off, and it'll be about ready to go. Found a couple hydraulic oil leaks, unfortunately, which is usual with these planters, it seems like. So we'll have to replace those. One's tucked in way up in here, and one's in the front of the planter, unfortunately. So it runs all the way from the front to the back. So we might have to do some pulling of some hydraulic hose, which is never fun. So we'll get that done this afternoon, and hopefully we'll be about ready. So we've got these welded on. Jeremiah's got them painted up and they look pretty sharp. Looks like they're going to work pretty good, and I took it for a little trip down the road and it did raise those up about where I want it. It's running about level now, so that shouldn't be a problem this year. We did find a couple hydraulic hoses, might be a couple issues. So we got one here, one in the back. Put it away, it wasn't leaking, pull it out and they are leaking. So we leave it sit for a couple months and it's amazing what will happen to a machine like this. A lot of moving parts on them, a lot of things to go wrong. So we're going to clean out these seed tubes. The seed tube's down in here. Seed drops right down through there and goes down into the furrow after it comes out of the meter. And if there's dirt or graphite stuck in there, it gets dirty and the seed sensors will pick up skips and doubles that aren't actually there. And so you want to make sure those are cleaned off. We installed these right here. These are LEP fertilizer tubes. So we're going to try those out this year and see how they work. The ones we had on last year we didn't like at all. They just bent up. So we're gonna give those a whirl, and hopefully those work out better than the last ones. So the guys are cleaning them off, and we're getting closer. Learned that trick a few years ago, and it's helped out a lot. You clean them once in the beginning and once in the middle of the season, and you're usually good. So it's exciting. Corn planting time's getting closer. Finish it up, be good to go. Alright, so here's our tanks from Ryan Manufacturing, and they come with these handy stands. We'll show you this over here. So these stands are just bolted onto the tanks, so they just set on there, and 2 pins release them off, and then we can hook on the top up there with our telehandler. We'll hook up with a chain and we'll lift them up, and we're going to put them on these brackets, and we leave these brackets on our tracks all year. They don't really get in the way, but if we wanted to take them off, it's just 6 big bolts right there. We can take those off, and those are the track tension, or not the track tension, but the track alignment bolts that you would take off typically on the tracks. They send some new longer bolts to be able to mount those brackets on. So all we have to do is lift the tank up, and then 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, and they just rest right here on this big long tube. So they're a pretty slick system, easy on, easy off. We can slap these on in about 15 or 20 minutes. Got them on. Easy as that. I think that only took like 15 minutes. We did get in a little bit of a rush though, and we managed to break this on both sides, I think. I heard a crunch, so we stopped. Always got to break something. So we'll have to replace that. Luckily, it's not essential. A couple bucks should get that fixed. But the important thing is that the tanks are on, and those will hold our 32%. That will get fed back onto a pump on the planter, and will get injected through our knives right here. So that's our 2x2 system and our tank system. It worked really smooth last year. Last year was our first year for these tanks. They look sharp. And look at that. We washed the hood, and it's not holding too bad with that wax that we put on it. Pretty happy with that. So we'll get tidied up here and move on to the next project.